Welcome back to Focal Point News. I'm Joe Fryhofer. We're here live in Munn Ice Arena, where behind me in just a few hours it's going to be Spartans and Buckeyes going head-to-head for a two-game stand. Now, Ohio State just one win away from that fourth-place Big Ten Conference spot where Michigan State currently sits. So head coach Danton Cole, coming into this weekend skid, knows just how important this series will prove to be.
It seems as tight as the standings are, it doesn't matter who you really play. Everything's a big game. But, being tied with Ohio State, they're, a very good hockey team. Present a lot of challenges. They're deep, they're old, but we've had some good battles with them over the years, and hey, we need to have our best game on Friday night.
Football coach Mel Tucker, he's only been in East Lansing for less than 2 weeks, but he's starting to make a big splash in piecing together his supporting cast. Jay Johnson joins the team from Colorado as the O coordinator and QB coach. Former Spartan staffer and player Harlan Barnett makes his way back to East Lansing after a stint with Florida State. He returns to work with the DBs. Now, one of Tucker's biggest hires by far is Courtney Hawkins. The former Spartan star receiver played 9 seasons in the NFL, and he's been the AD and head coach at Flint Beecher High School since 2006. So he'll work with the wide receivers. Finally, Chris Kupovich will head the offensive line, coming from the Buffs as well. Let's jump on over now to the latest news with former MSU guard Keith Appling. After a brief stint of professional hoops with the Orlando Magic and playing overseas, police charged Appling with drug crimes after finding 19 grams of heroin in his vehicle. Police say he also planned to sell it. Appling was actually named Michigan's Mr. Basketball and played for Izzo from 2010 to 2014, so his next hearing on that one is scheduled for February 25th. Now, Spartan men's and women's hoops were out of town this past week, as it was the women who headed down to West Lafayette, Purdue to take on the Boilermakers, but we start with Tom Izzo and company, who were down in Nebraska taking on the Cornhuskers. We start things off early on here in the first. Jack Hoiberg behind the arc, front iron no, but he gets his own offensive rebound, kicks it to Cassius Winston. Second attempt is good. Michigan State up ahead by 3 early in this one. Into the second half we go. Xavier Tillman showing off his hands in transition with a steal. Winston the slip pass. Tillman the jam. Michigan State starting to pull away in the second. How about Kyle Arns showing off his range? He was heating up all throughout that second half. Michigan State is able to hang on and win that one 86-65. To West Lafayette, Indiana we go, where the Michigan State women's hoops team was taking on Purdue. Tori Osment drives inside to the rack, absorbs the contact and the foul. She headed to the line to get a three-point play the old-fashioned way. Taryn McCutcheon all alone out behind the arc, just too easy for her, can't leave her open. How about the shimmy move by Nia Clouden on the baseline, left her defender in the dust. Michigan State hangs on to win by just 2 there, 65-63 the final. Here's head coach Susie Merchant on this one.
To be able to focus, change how we defended ball screens and how we defended them, and then the next minute another group comes in and they become a team that we can switch 1 through 4 with. I thought our kids did a good job. I thought Taryn McCutcheon and Nia Clouden really made sure when people checked in, we knew what defense we were in and what we were doing on screening actions.
Now, although both of those teams were out of town this past week, all eyes of the sporting world were on East Lansing this past Saturday. It was College Game Day who rolled into town. The big bus came to the Breslin for the second year in a row. And although that game wasn't set to tip off until 6 p.m. that night, the fans were lining up outside the Breslin as early as 5 a.m. A morning sunrise, sprinkles, and a little energy. 3 key ingredients to surviving the wait.
Michigan State.
And the cold. 7 degrees to be exact.
We actually live in Chicago. We drove back just for this.
Everyone has their strategies.
You got to toast the burger bun a little bit. Other than that, there's really no helping it.
Or lack thereof.
I have Crocs on too, so my feet are a little chilly.
I sacrificed an exam grade for this.
There's no questioning the loyalty of these fans.
She's been here before. Her little sister's sleeping. Her little sister is actually named Breslin.
Not one bit. But once 9:30 came and the doors opened, the show was about to begin. For the second year in a row, College Game Day rolls into East Lansing, and despite being unranked, coming into tip-off tonight, Michigan State find themselves at a 6.5-point favorite.
The games are always magnificent. The environment is terrific, for our show especially. I mean, you think about some of the great places we've been and the great environments. The zone shows up, and so does the rest of the student body.
From half-court heaves to win $19,000, to breaking down the biggest matchups of the day. It's a front row seat to ESPN's biggest live show of the weekend.
My toes are still frozen, but I'm just happy to be in the warm.
You can even bring in a bowl of cereal. But you will have to wait until next season to see if the Big Orange bus rolls into town again. So despite being favored by 6.5 in that one, the Spartans actually fall at home 67-60. Now again, we're just hours away here inside Munn Ice Arena. Zamboni's getting this thing ready. It's a 2-game stand for the Spartans against the Ohio State Buckeyes. So much importance on this one. And if we take a look at the big picture for Spartan hockey, what a turnaround it's been this season. Of course, they already have 2 more wins right now than they did the entire season, still with 4 more Big Ten games to play. That skid starts here tonight at 7 p.m. That's all I have for this week in sports. Brandon and Michaela, back to you guys.